Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Cinco Symposium. Alright, so right now we're going to be talking about the degradation of the family, the unit, and this lady that's talking about a divorce coach. I didn't know there were such things, I thought the idea of marriage was supposed to be forever. You do your absolute best to work on it, to negotiate with someone else. You've met someone, you've been with someone, you're trying to make a life together, and you try to make it work, and it's about sacrifice. And I mean, full disclosure, I've gone through a divorce. I've been through a divorce, and I'm remarried now, happily. So like, I've had the divorce, but I'm telling you, it's not good. It's not a pretty picture. It's not something you want or strive for. It's definitely not that. You want to avoid it at all costs. But now it's just like we're pushing for. Oh, we're gonna talk divorce coaches, and we're gonna push this as if we didn't need it already with a high divorce rate. But we're gonna watch this video. We're gonna get into it. Before we do, hit that like button, share the video, subscribe. Helps me out. We're working towards 1,000 subscribers, and comment. Let me know what you think about this. And is this good for our country? Is this bad? Is this good for our culture? Does this help in any way? Let's listen to what she says.
The very best piece of advice I've ever received about divorce came in the early days of my own divorce from a friend who'd never been divorced and in fact wasn't even married at the time.
So you're going to take advice on an incredibly big situation, right? Like you're going through a divorce, and you're going to take serious advice from someone who's not married or never had a divorce. So she's not married, never had a divorce, so she's never married. And you're going to take serious advice from someone like that. When it comes to these important situations in life, you want to guard yourself from people that are going to give you like biased advice. That's what when I had problems with my first marriage, that was one thing the counselor like, don't talk to your family, don't talk to your friends unless like that they can give you unbiased information or opinions, because generally what's going to happen, you're going to tell the other person and you're going to make it skewed. You can't help it. You're going to make it seem that your side's correct, because that's what everyone does. And then your family and all your friends are going to be like, yeah, man, forget that hoe, she's treating you wrong. And said sometimes there are times you're wrong, and you need someone that's has unbiased opinion. You're going to go, hey man, actually you're the jacked up one here, you need to fix yourself, you need to do this. And a lot of people don't do that, and that's what sounds like she did, was seek advice from someone who's never been through the situation, doesn't know, and is just going to tell her what she wants to hear.
She said something so powerful, it really got in there, and it still rings true today, and I share it with my divorce coaching clients often. Here's the best piece of divorce advice I've ever heard. Your life is bigger than one man. Let's extend it.
Your life is bigger than one man. Like, it's really putting on this persona that like you shouldn't need a man, you don't need a man, and all your wants and needs are bigger than this guy. Instead of the old idea where it was two people that fell in love and said, you are bigger than me, or us together is bigger than me individually, and we're going to come together and we're going to fight and we're going to negotiate and we're going to struggle and we're going to succeed and we're going to go through all this together. And we're going to create something bigger than ourselves. And generally the idea of marriage was between a man and woman and God. And so that was the idea that, you were three pieces of rope and a cord, and y'all were going to be strong together. And y'all were going to make something bigger than yourselves. And you were going to sacrifice for the economy. Because in my opinion, what I always thought marriage was sacrifice. You do things that you don't want to do for the other person, and they're supposed to do that for you as well. You're supposed to sacrifice for each other. When you get married, you're gonna sacrifice. You're not gonna get what you want all the time. You're gonna give up a lot of freedoms of being able to go out and do whatever you want. And generally, it's for the idea of also having kids, making something bigger in yourself. A kid is like one of the biggest things that you can do in this world, more than getting a lot of money or anything else. Making other human beings and raising them to be good people. And when you got to have a partner to do that with. And I mean, by all natural occurrences, you have to have that with someone of the opposite sex. You can't do that in a gay relationship. I understand you can adopt and all that stuff, but I'm talking about like having your own kids and then creating them and making them like you and making hopefully good, productive people for society, making better people. and having as a lot of kids. That was generally the idea of the family unit, and that was strong. But now it's not about that. Like, even if this woman's saying, even if you have kids, even if you have all that, you as the individual, your wants and needs are bigger than your husband's or your wife's or your children or anything else. Screw what you're created with your family. You need to be able to go out and do what you want to do. Sacrifice all personal responsibility and just go out there and live it. Do it. Do what you want to do, because that's what's most important. And to me, that's a selfish way of looking at it, and especially if you have kids in the mix. If you have kids, like, I get it. Like I said, I've been through a divorce, and we do have a kid that was a part of that. I mean, they weren't born yet, and it made things rough. Like, it is hard to navigate those waters, especially since we're not very close, me and my ex. And you talk about it is rough on the kids. Divorce should be the absolute last resort. That's like, it shouldn't be coached. It shouldn't be pushed. But yeah,
your
goodness.
life is bigger than one relationship, one marriage, one moment in time. Even if that relationship comes with good intentions and oodles of love and big dreams and a home and kids and memories and vacations.
And see, right there, she even says it. Even if it's good, even if it has oodles of love, and you got kids involved, and you got a house, and you got all this, even if you have all that, she's saying yourself is bigger than that. And I think that is a problem with our society, that we have taken on this idea that we as an individual, like, we deserve so much, and no one should be able to tell you no on what you want to do, and you got to go get what you want. That's more important. That's what a lot of, in my opinion, the abortion argument is wrapped around. It's wrapped around with killing your child so you don't have to be responsible for it, because you don't want to have to deal with it for 18 years or more, because even though they're supposed to be grown up, and after that point, you still have your kids around for the rest of your life, and then you hopefully would try to love them and be a part of their lives. But for 18 years, that kid's yours, where you're going to have to take care of them, you're going to have to raise them, you're going to have to focus on them, you're going to have to sacrifice for them, you're going to have to feed them, you're going to do all this. And the idea of abortion is you can skip all that if you just kill them. If you kill them in the womb, and hidden under the guise that it's okay because, well, it's not alive yet, which is absolute bullshit. It's a baby. It's a human life, human DNA, unreplicable, never will be seen again, growing and developing inside of the woman, and they snuff it out for the god of themselves. Back when you read about people sacrificing children to, like, Baal and all the other, like, demonic, paganistic gods, whenever they were sacrificing children, they at least thought there was a higher being that they were sacrificing their children to, even though that's still evil and insane. But now it's sacrifice. To me, it's worse. It's sacrificing the God of yourself. So you can be happy, sacrifice your child. So you can be happy, sacrifice your family. So you can be happy, sacrifice everything that you built with another human being that trusted in you, and now the little human beings that are involved that call you mom or dad, sacrifice it because you need to be happy. That's just utter garbage. And like I said, sacrificing all personal responsibility for your own happiness, it's selfish. And that's not a good quality to have as a human being.
What happens if you release your grasp that this relationship defines the whole of you and the whole of your life, to see what could come next, what is happening now? There was a time before this relationship. You are heading into the next part. What are the possibilities that extend far beyond this one person?
It is, so that's where it ends. And she goes into it about, like, what are the possibilities? I don't know. Maybe there's some bad possibilities. Maybe the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Maybe you leave your family, your children, your husband, or your wife, or whoever. You leave them because you think of all the possibilities of all what could be. Then it comes to find out that things are actually a lot harder. Then you go out there trying to, like, date, or you end up getting STDs or something. Who knows? Or maybe you find out your children end up turning out to hate you because they feel like you abandoned them for your own personal happiness. And the children that maybe you love them, you're a parent, but they don't want to have anything to do with you because you straight up left them for your own selfish desires, Or maybe in the future you're trying to date someone, and, like, you find someone that you think could be the next chapter, right? And then they come across something like this. They're like, wait, you went to a divorce coach? Like and then you wanted this whole another okay, so like how long until I become that to you? That like I become just a burden and I'm holding you back from all your possibilities. And then anyone that like knows about this is probably good. Anyone that's heard you say anything like this is going to question having a serious relationship with you. And they're not going to want to do it because they're going to go, well, I'm going to be a chapter. I'm not the book with this person. I'm just chapter 12. And at some point, there's going to be chapter 13, which I'm not involved in. Because if I'm not making her happy or she decides she wants to do something else, then she's going to bail. So why would I invest into this person? Why would I risk having children with this person that, you know, then we're going to get divorced and we're going to have to do split custody and I'm going to have to pay child support and we're going to have to divide everything up halfway? No, the guy's going to actually, any sensible guy or gal would look at it and go, yeah, I'm not investing in this person. And they're probably going to end up just using this lady or a person like this and like use them to take them in the take them in the sack, do their thing with them, give them the tender sauce, and then move about their way. Got their short-term fix, and then move on to someone that they can find themselves having a long-term relationship with, having that someone that they can write the whole book with, not just a chapter. This is dumb, idiotic stuff, and it's this type. It's degradation of society is what it is, and breaking down the family unit. The family unit was like the strongest individual unit that we had inside the United States, and it's where, you know, where you could always go, but now it's everyone split up. You got divorces happening all over the place, they keep getting higher and higher. You got single motherhood, that's it is the single most biggest contributing factor to poverty, to chances of kids, fatherless homes of kids. It raises their chance exponentially of kids growing up in single family homes or single mother homes without the dad involved. Much higher to not to graduate high school. Much higher to be involved in crime. Much higher to go to prison. But we want to push this. We want to push broken families. No, marriage is hard. It absolutely is. Jordan Peterson said it best. When he's talking about that, someone's like, oh, you know, celebrating 30 years of happiness. He's like, you know, honestly, it's not that. Marriage, I mean, there is happiness in marriage, but there's also pain. There's suffering. There's heartbreak. There's mistrust. You know, sometimes there's suffering. There's some bad stuff, but like the point is to work with it to another person. You're never going to find another human being that fits every need that you have at all points in times. You're going to struggle. You're going to sacrifice them. They're going to be sacrificing things. You're going to have fights. You got to negotiate, you know, and then the hope is that you are building something bigger and better than yourself, which is a family, which is a unit, that no matter what, you know, you have each other's backs, and then you raise young individuals that will be good, productive people just like yourself, that are going to go out and do great things and hopefully make a family themselves and then continue that tradition. But so much of this crap now that we have is breaking down the individual family, saying like, oh, you know, parents shouldn't be able to teach your kids, whatever, just give them to the state, put them in public schools, let the state raise your children, let the TV raise your children, let YouTube raise your children, you know, instead of actually parents being involved. But and it's crap like this, like, oh, just, you know, do it for yourself, go talk to a divorce coach. No, this is bad. We need to be having more marriage counselors and more, you know, marriage coaches saying like, no, man, you can get it. You can do it. Y'all can stick together. You can stick this out. Your kids are worth it. You and her are worth it. Y'all are worth it. It's just a bump. You got to get over it. Find a way. Be strong. Stop being weak and retreating in these things. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't divorce somebody. Obviously, there's some good reasons to divorce people. That, you know, you got constant cheating on you. Maybe someone's beating on the other one. There's some serious issues, but I also think that goes into, you got to date wisely. You got to date for a long time, know who the other person is, share foundational values and morals with each other. That's what you got to make sure you know who you're marrying. And I think that's the biggest problem. But now it's just like this woman's pushing for, just a chapter. That's what marriage is, just a chapter. It's not the book, it's just a chapter, and you're going to keep finding different chapters. But if you're looking for someone long term, let me know what you think about that. If you're trying to date someone and you find out that they're like, yeah, you know, this is what happened with my last marriage, but, you know, I gotta do me, and I gotta find the right one. And if I get married to someone and I find out it's the, you know, it's not working out for me, you know, I gotta continue to find my next thing. You as a person are gonna be like, okay, well, I don't want to be involved in this. I would look at it, I don't want to be involved with this person because I'm not there for the long term. She's going to find a reason to leave, and then she's going to leave. Let me know what you think about that. I think this is utter garbage mentality. I think it's weak mentality. And this woman's probably going to end up alone and sad. And I don't want that. When I get old and crusty and I'm useless, I hope to have a lot of my children and grandchildren around me to know like that's what I live for. That's what I live for, my family, I live for God, and that on my deathbed that they're there with me. This woman's going to end up cold, alone, having none of her family involved with her, and all of her selfish desires that she went and chased through her life, that's all she's going to have to surround her on her deathbed, and that's a sad, terrible thought. I don't want that for anyone, so let's push back against this crap. Like I said, let me know what you think. Hit that like button. Until next time, guys, y'all have a wonderful day.